Boy Bob used to be really into Kylie Minogue. I was it Tiffany that sang "I Think We're Alone Now." That's Tiffany, and he liked Stacy Q. You guys remember Stacy Q? Two hearts that beat as one. I need you. All right, remember that song? Okay, who's into that? And I used to be like the dudes from so that's the most gay homosexual music I ever heard. We should not play that in public when we're out. Bob, put on full force. Thank you. Oswald, Bob. we'll, on the freeway. We'll play OMD on the freeway on our way home, right? I like it too. I just don't feel like getting in a fight tonight. Shit. We never did. No, they always, they were always feeling, I always had to be the protector, but we never got in a fight. They always, like the best one's when I told Dad. I think I told you all this before. And the lady in Sierra Vista told me, but guy hit Bob's car with a full beer can. It dented it. So he got pissed and he chased the guy. The guy was in a muscle car. But Bob outmaneuvered him and got him, but it was a setup. Just when we got him and stopped the guy in the alley thing, it's like, what are we going to do now? If 3 other muscle cars came up and backed us in and boxed us in. And then all hell broke loose. So I'm like, oh shit, I got to get on and handle this shit, right? So I'm fitting to get ready to get out of the car, right? And all of a sudden I hear, we're going to die, from down by my butt, right? Because Brett is curled up in the fetal position in the back of a Chevy Spectrum. Yeah, that's hard to do, especially when you're a big boy like Brett. Right? He's got his head right back there. He's hiding. He's curled up. Right? We're going to die. And I go, what the fuck is up? And I look down, and then I look at Bob, and I hear Darren going, Bob, gun, go now. Bob, gun. And he can't because he's boxed in, right? And so I'm looking over at Bob, and Bob's looking over out my window, right? The passenger window. And Bob's head is bouncing off of the steering wheel. And Darren is panicking, and he's pushing Bob's head into the steering wheel. Bob, gun, go now. Bob, go. Right? He's totally panicking, totally freaking out, right? And Brett is curled up in the fetal position underneath the seat I'm sitting in going, we're going to die. We're going to die. We're going to die, right? And I look at it now, and if Earl hadn't started laughing his ass off, and the lady told me it was a pellet gun, I don't know for sure. That's what I got told in Cochise County, right? But the guy stood there, had the gun pointed at my head, and then saw me I couldn't stop laughing. I go, these fuckers are crazy. Let's get the fuck out of here. And they all got in their cars and drove off. I almost peed myself. I was laughing so hard. I couldn't help it. I could still see Bob's head bouncing off that steering wheel, right? And, because the steering wheels had kind of like flexibility to them, so his head was bouncing off. It was one of those Chevy Spectrums of the 1980s and stuff. And so his head's bouncing off the steering wheel. And Darren keeps pushing, and I'm like, what the fuck's going on? And I was pissed at him. I was like, why just let it go? He hit it. I know, but you gotta have to let it go. What are we gonna do when we catch him? What are you going to do when we catch up to him? I don't want to fight somebody. I know it's your car and shit like that, and I know that kind of shit happens, but it's not worth killing or getting killed over, right? Somebody threw a beer can at your car. Yeah, it sucks. But, you got to swim with the sharks in the sea and the crocodile in the river, right? And so me and George had done, well, I didn't have a Red Bull, so I couldn't turn the crocodile into a purse, And I had a zebra, y'all. Because, you funny, I know. But I was watching this thing on, and then they had a thing on there, it's Boy George, and they talked about his fashion and stuff, and he's Irish. Boy is Irish. He changed, that's his stage name. It's O'Dowd or O'Do, he's an O'Reilly, O'Brien, so he's Irish. Oh, you're Irish. Oh, so he's Irish. I don't think there's O Murphy. It's just Murphy. It means sea warrior. Okay. In case you're wondering there. Yeah, Murphy means sea warrior. The Murphys, they're the Sea Warriors, so they lived down where the dark Morin suites down to the sea. All right. My grandpa's people, or at least the person he was raised by. I don't know. I don't know how full of shit the Mormon Church is. I can't tell you. I'm not a stockholder in espionage. This is crazy. Those people are crazy. They always doing crazy shit, and they be thinking crazy shit. They always be spitting shit, selling drip, and they know to quit. They need to quit it. My best hope is that no famous people know who I am. The only person, it was just passing fancy meeting with, Siakam Pascal, and he didn't quite, like most people when I talk to him, is this guy talking about real? Is this guy for real? Well, yeah, really, Bert. Name's Earl. Life stories in the book of Revelation. Right. I believe I'm the eternal spirit of the Messiah. I do not believe I am God, and I do not believe Jesus is God. Okay. God's omniscient and omnipotent, and Jesus is the eternal spirit of the faithful Father that gives us faith in a real God and doesn't let assholes try to turn themselves into one, right? And then I'll get people all the time, you're not God, and who's God? Jesus is God. Okay, you're not Jesus. You're not Jesus. I never said I was. I was the eternal spirit of the Lord. Me and the Father are one. No, you're not. Okay. So God's not omniscient and omnipotent, and the people that have faith in God are not all related, in spirit. Okay, you couldn't. Hawking! Dawkins! Anyone? Bueller? Right. And it's really hard to explain. It's hard to explain physics to people that have been fucked in the head with mythology, tribalism, and money. And if you don't accept it, they'll kill you. Okay. Well, me, guys, the temple said, no, their fate's worse than death. So you take my family, turn them into Romans, you go, so you fuck my wife, pass around in chat rooms, all the guys got bigger dicks, you got a bigger dick than you. Yeah, but your wife, when she's getting fucked by you, biggest dickus, is thinking, why can't you be like King David Early Bird? Yeah, why can't you be like me, bitch? Serious. Or you can be like that. You like that? Shazam! Blow them bubbles. He must work out. Yeah. Look at the butt on that, right? You're funny. Funny, I know. But I had a butt in the Air Force. Remember Gwendolyn Ragstor? Rodan said, what's Parson got that I ain't got? Parson got a butt. Well, that's because I was a sprinter. And I was a guard. And guards run about 4 miles a game, and they run. We run. We're like Forrest Gump. I was running. I got the ball, and I passed the ball, and I was running. And then the coach said, put the ball in the basket, and I did. Why'd you do that so well, Earl Gump? 'Cause you told me to, Coach Drill Sergeant. God damn, it wasn't waste of a perfectly good enlisted man. I'd recommend you for officers training school. Thank you, Drill Sergeant Coach. Dumbasses. I'm surrounded by the biggest dumbasses in the history of the world. So you train. I was sitting there playing this video game, right? And they do this thing for status quo thing, and it'll do it 20, 30 times in a row. And I was like, Jesus, help me. And he's like, Earl. And I was like, this game I got in 2013. It was, how many times you do it? Okay, 365 days a year. If you play this, they do it 20 times, sometimes 50 times with one team on 1 week with trying to sim to get an outcome instead of having to go. It takes longer to try to sim play it to make it lose. And okay. And so you're like, oh, shit, this is ridiculous. Yeah, they do to see how, the program was put in there to see how patient you are. Oh. And so I'm sitting there, and he goes through, and he's talking. I went to talk to Dad about it. Jesus sat and told me, So, and then he goes, Earl, you look back when you got the 1999 was what I got, and they have the status quo engine and all of them right. And when you sim and it does this and it doesn't want to give you the outcome because it's not following the status quo of the top heavy of work your way to the top. Okay. So it's been over 1 million times since I started playing the video games that they've done that to me to test my patience. Right. And then you get all these people in military intel and NASA around here, you're too hard on people. You got to give them time. You got to have patience. And Jesus said 2,026 years is more than enough time to get your poop in the scoop and stop being a selfish, jealous little pile of shit. Manure. Yeah, huh? You sure? Shazam! Okay, Shazam. And there's Flash, but that's not the Flash, from the Freddie Mercury thing. That's a different Flash Gordon. That was after Freddie Mercury had passed away, y'all. Oh, now it's going to screensaver. Jean, roses are red. Oh, that's Arabic architecture, I'm pretty certain. Or is it Persian? It could be Persian. Could be Persian, could be Arabic. It might be Persian. You guys tell me. You guys are the geniuses. Come on, Sheldon Pooper, Shelly Pooper. Chuck Lorre, is that Persian or Arabic? Or do I ask Gemini? Are you feeling lucky? You're funny. I know I'm funny, man. But what's crazy is when you sit and you watch this stuff on TV, it's like, I got my videos up to 30 minutes, and they are so much more interesting and intelligent than any of the bullshit that Gutfeld talks on the Gutfeld show, Daily Talk on the Daily Show. It's more educational. It's even more educational and easier to understand and pertinent to us not being fucked in the ass by comic book writers that go get their books signed for money and have their head up their ass and say, I'm an astrophysicist. Serious. That's pretty. Where's that? Kind of reminds me of, the mountains in southwestern near Jerome or southwestern Arizona. I know it's not, but it reminds you of it. It does. Yeah. Been on a bus from Deming to Colville. It's a long bus ride, man. It's a long ass mother sticking bus ride. You go through all the way through all the little towns, like on fucking what's the name of that movie? U-Turn. Go through all the little towns, so they have to go pick up everybody. To get them where they go to make their money. So you go through and you go to all these bus stops and all these little towns, and you go. We went through almost half the state of Oregon. We went like to Klamath Falls, to Eugene, past Eugene, to Bend, to another George, whatever. So I can't remember. We went all through Oregon, right? And then we went through places in Washington I ain't never seen, because the buses go to the little out-of-the-way places, right? So we went up through, you don't go to the place, you go to places where they're far away from the airport, right? We did go through Phoenix, because people was driving through and getting through Phoenix, and most people was going through Phoenix, and then in Phoenix, they load up and you go on down to, we went through Vegas, and we went through Nevada, and we went, Sparta, and we everywhere. We went all through the countryside. It was a long ride. It's like 3 days, I think. 3 days and nights with a rest now and then. No, there's no rest. You just fall asleep in the seat. Yeah. There was a pretty Indian girl. Indian from India. Okay. Who came and sat next to me from one town to another. She was a little bit older than me. One of my sister's age. She was very pretty, though. Her leg touched mine, and I was like, our legs are touching, and she's so pretty. And I was, because I was heading into puberty, and I was, okay, heart don't waste, don't pump out of your chest. She's pretty. Okay, this is, puberty sucks, man. Puberty sucks. It doesn't suck, no. It just sucks going through puberty with a bunch of assholes that put you on buses going from point A to point B, because your parents have things they got to get done, and you're staying with your sister and you're babysitting. I did the babysitting because Pancho was babysitting Greg's kids next door, even though Greg got disability from the military. Amy, Greg used to call Linda, not Amy. Greg used to call Linda Mrs. Kravitz because she'd look out the window and now this is going on, and I'd be over there watching the boys because Linda was busy watching Pancha with Greg's kids over at Greg's house. And Pancha was was that the year I turned 13 or was it 12, 13? I was 13. So Pancha was 14 going on 15. Right. Greg, I was like, he's not, Linda was telling his age. Well, he's this older. And I was like, and I go, but what? He's got all those toddlers. Well, he got married later in life. And I was like, yeah, but so he ain't much, Dad ain't much older than him. How come Dad looks older than him? Well, Dad works. Greg hurt his back in the military and it hasn't worked. He's been on disability, so it doesn't work. So it's, all he does is sit around and play with his kids and smoke marijuana all day because his back killed him. was hurt. He got hurt, and it never stopped hurting. But was it worth it to correct disability and live in a trailer park in Deming the rest of your life? I don't know. That sounds posh, mart. Fuckers are crazy, aren't they? But I was sitting there watching some of this stuff, and they had the thing where they were talking to Kylie Minogue. Poor baby had breast cancer because of the stress and the toxins, and she's always in yet to be in big cities. And big cities, if you can't go out into the country and just get away from it all in a while, stuff. A lot of, like, Val Kilmer and, what's the other guy's name? Patrick Swayze and stuff. Very aggressive, excessive, compulsive lifestyles and self-medication. Never was an aggressive and then I always tried to get off the grid, but they wouldn't allow me economically. And then all the, quote, self-medicating, the military did to me. You sacrifice all so we can be free. You're the real heroes. Oh my gosh, they're sexy. That man knows Aikido, Jukido, Billion Jiu-Jitsu, and can speak in 7 different languages. He is so amazing and sexy. He can crack walnuts with his ass crack, and he can open beer cans with his toenail. He's so sexy. Yeah. Fuck. Jujikor, Lujikor, and Blue. I always sing that about Noah when I'm playing. I sing lots of goofy songs about Noah. I love Noah. He's a sweetheart and he's a lot of fun. It's fun. Yeah, no, my kids always know me as Mr. Dorky, sing goofy songs, That's how my kids know me. It was when I was singing in the shower because we were no longer experienced firsthand abuse of Amy with the sex texting and all the bullshit after she left, and I was singing in the shower trying to help the kids through, and Natalie, you sing really good, because paper thin walls, and it's like, I do. Thanks. Your mom said I sing like shit. She said Kelly and Peter sing really good, but I sound terrible. And then the girls would always, no, Daddy, shh, don't sing. And I wasn't singing. I was just singing like I would sing doon 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 doon. My Bella Nate, you are really great. Like dads sing to their daughters, right? Like, what's that lady's name? She was mean. Maya Angelou, right? When she was being shitty to Billie Holiday's little boy came home, right? And he's like 12. And Billie said, no, you just don't have it. You have a really nice voice. You're mean and you're ugly and you can't sing. You're uppity because of all the shit people like me had to go through to get your uppity ass quoting poetry to a bunch of people at Berkeley and Stanford that own the whole fucking state and say they want to help everybody but don't really fucking care. And she's mad. She read, wrote, and erased Maya Angelou. But you read the book, and it's the exact opposite. Bitch was crazy. She this. And so what Maya Angelou goes, she made my son uncomfortable. He came home, and she started singing one of her songs to him like she was singing it to an adult male. Okay. It said, and we both talked about it, she made me very uncomfortable, Mom. It was like she was trying to seduce me sexually, right? He was only 12 years old. That was the age that Billie became a prostitute at the clubs to pay everybody's bills because she was pretty and had the best voice. Maya Angelou just couldn't figure out she couldn't pull her own head out of her own ass. 50 years later, through her kid and through them making money, supporting certain communities to support them because that's how they make all their money, right? It's fucked, right? So I support the LGBT, that's because they listen to your music and buy your clothes and listen to a lot of your music. Okay, if you're a Kid Rock, you would not support the LGBT community because none of the people that listen to your music like them faggots and those bitches that eat at the Y. Oh, yeah. Now, you eliminate economic conflict and economic competition. That is one nice lesbian. She's the nicest lesbian I've ever met. She is so kind. I wouldn't want to piss her off, though. She looks like she could break your arm off trying to get you to quit for money through submission. I agree. She has no hips whatsoever. I know. Yeah, Mom said that about a lot of gymnasts. She goes, that must be hell on their female body parts. They have no hips whatsoever. It must be hard to try to get a baby through that canal. What happened? I think it comes from years of fighting for everything that you need or want, depending on the conditions. Don't worry about the conditions. Don't worry about what a hopeless sinner you are today and you were the fuck yesterday. Just repent. Okay, Charlton Heston? Dear Charlton, you know what self-righteous means. Thinking and believing you're right when you're obviously fucking wrong, right? Good old David Rockefeller. Like, damn. You know you really are a mean old fucking man. You know that? You're mean as hell. It's like, no, I'm not. Why? Because when you get a self-righteous NRA hypocrite who gets information about certain things and they judge this kid and they abuse this kid, and you get your information from Gordon B. Hinckley, who spies on the kid, sexually abuses the family through economics and virtual presence of pervert scientists, and it has an effect on you psychologically, mentally, and emotionally. I have a really amazing family when you get right down to it and break it down. And the women I married, and the families and the things we had to go through, and the manipulation from the worst scientists, perverts, we could be a lot worse. Like you. Be a multi-billionaire with an espionage company that keeps everybody fighting and fucking over popularity contests over money with technology to pay for your drugs to survive being fucked to death and killed in the city. And nobody at St. Jude's has to pay a bill to have their kid bombarded with radiation to try to survive economic conflict through disgustingness. Yeah. It's really nice. And if the kid's not going to make it, we'll get them all dressed up in a football uniform and let them lead the football team out there before the football team gets $1 million for, 2 years to knock people down on the ground for money, to hold food hostage and housing hostage and give you... That's not how it works, Jamie. Oh, we're not going to prank phone call each other? Right. Oh, son of a bitch. Insurance, that's it. Your refrigerator's running, right? No, it was eat your penis. Well, like Carlin said, if I could, I'd probably never leave the house. But do you want to book a flight? And the kid had to probably freak out, like, wasn't this black guy's... Well, did I say that Richard Pryor said that joke? No, I said George Carlin, motherfucker. George motherfucking Carlin. It was the white guy who came up with that joke, not the black guy. The black guy didn't say... if I could suck my own dick, I'd never ever leave the house. But Carlin did. The white guy that looks like this. Mr. Trinky, right? Grandpa Trinky. Raquel Castro's grandpa. That ain't them dogs' real voices. I know that, motherfucker, but do you? Hey, look, boats. Old-fashioned fishing boats to pay extortion to people that think they own the buildings that are on the waterfront. In the place where the dark morn sweeps down to the sea. I believe that when writing you wish to express is how the fine ladies of Shanghai were dressed. Well, when they go out, they don't wear no tops to their dresses at all. I've seen them myself, and you could not in truth tell if they were bound for a ball or a bath. So don't be starting those fashions now, Mary McCree, in the island Indonesia, where the women outnumber the men 33-3. I saw the thing on that, went to look at it. Why the men? Because the men accept tyranny of debt and trespass and that yoke of tyranny, and won't stand up and say no. But they'll kill you all. I know. I've had that happen in a village in Japan back in the 1960s and 70s. Because they supported a man named Taro Suzuki, who connected to me in prayer to help perform the apocalypse through helping me in meditation get through all this hell because of the brain damage from the technology that I had that he didn't have because he wasn't being bombarded with Wi-Fi from the time he died a week before I was born, from the time he was born to the time he died a week before I was born, July 12, 1966, the day Patrick Holland was born, yeah. Baby, don't be looking in my mind. You might not like what you find. Isn't that purdy? It's purdy, yeah. For honey, I know you better than you think I do. So, baby, I did not know Kylie Minogue was Australian like making fun of me, Riz? Like Olivia Newton-John. I did not know she was Australian. I thought she was, one of the white girls from like Bayside High School and shit. You know what I'm saying? I never heard her talk. I heard her sing, but like Olivia Newton-John, she don't sing with she don't sing with Australian accent. It looks like, was she in a relationship with the guy who asphyxiated and killed the lead singer from Excess? That's who it looked like. I don't know if it was him. I was standing, you were there, two worlds collided, and they will never tear us apart. I like that song a lot. I just haven't put it on because I was like, that sounds horrible. Why would people do that? Because you can't enjoy life, you can't enjoy sex, because it's just, like Kurt Cobain, it's just so miserable, and it never stops, and it never goes away. It's eternal wretchedness, and it seems like it's never going to stop. Could have told you, Robin, these people that are vicious and mean and selfish and horrible scientists with the Marines watching while I'm putting the cooler on the stand. Oh, who's weak? I'm weak. Are you standing for the Lord's Prayer and being chemically poisoned by your pervert scientist? And I'm weak. And I'm weak. They always tell themselves that. All the people think they're strong. Okay. And I am not a crook. Okay. They all tell, he's so weak. I'm so weak. And you're so strong. I'm so weak and you're so strong. Oh, Diana. I'm just kidding. It's I'm so young and you're so old. it's a pretty good song. My favorite Paul Anka tune, man. I think the one that Pancha likes the most, yeah. Good morning, yesterday, you wake up and time has slipped away, and suddenly it's hard to find the memories you left behind. Remember to the laughter and the tears, the shadows of misty yesteryears. That's a good-ass tone, man. I like it with memories pressed against the pages of mine, and twilights trimmed in purple haze, and gentle ways with you. Anybody else love that song? I love me the shit out that song, yo. Oh, Elvis. My mom, she didn't like him. Only people that go bowling, live in trailers, and have, and then have blacklight posters of Elvis like Elvis. And I'm like, and they drink beer like Tanya beer. And it's like, Mom, you say that. What if Tanya hears that? Because Tanya's family is really into Elvis. And I was like, Mom, no, I don't like One Through a Party. I don't like any of those songs. I'm not real fond of the Carl Perkins, Don't Step on My Blue Suede Shoes. But when that brother gets a ballad, Mom, he tears that motherfucker up. And Barbra Streisand ain't got nothing on Elvis when it comes to a ballad, mother. Oh, it's true. No more seeing your dark eyes shine. Oh, how I wish I had never caused you sorrow. But please don't say for me, you and for me there will be no tomorrow. It's really good. Please come back to my arms. Right? Don't you love you some Elvis ballads, man? I love me some Elvis ballads, man. That Tupelo honey, Graceland from Tennessee, little man, he can sing, and Shelby swears he loves us black folk because he sang in the ghetto, And then I guess he had a pretty good relationship with Muhammad Ali and admired and liked Muhammad Ali, and apparently Muhammad Ali liked him, even though he swept him. Yeah. Well, he told him, don't be afraid. These people threaten to kill you and all that. Just do stuff like this. I don't think Muhammad Ali had the kind of agility to do it as quick and stuff as Elvis did. Elvis was a smaller guy. You'd be surprised what a 6 foot, a 5'11", 165-pound man could do to a 7'8", 450-pound man if that man brought a knife to a gunfight, right? You know what I'm saying? Mister, you just brought a knife to a gunfight. That's what old David told Goliath. He told him, man, I don't want to do this. I want you to just admit you're wrong and learn to keep worship with me and worship Jehovah and know that God is the power and the glory and not you. Just because you can take anything you want doesn't mean somebody can't take a rock out, hit you in the head, and then take your own sword and cut your head off with it. And you know what he told the spirit of me? He called me a dog. Well, and I looked at him and I said, hey, spell dog backwards, right? That's what you think you are. Me? Son of man, son of man. People say he's crazy, but their brains is lazy because they always be thinking what they dig. My dad said that today. He said this lady one time, she said to him, men always think with a stiff dick. And my dad said, I know. It's because of a lot of women that always think and do everything with a twitchy twat. He said, she got real mad at me. It's like, it's true. When women know they can get men to do anything they want him to do, like Law said with me, I can get him to do anything I want him to do. My mom said I used to think that with his dad, but he has this point. Once he gets that point, he been down one time, been down two times, never going back again. I'm just trying to get my baby's mamas and all the women I've been with before into the kingdom of heaven. I'm not trying to get back in the bedroom to have somebody sex texting me with murderers that are fucking them into the club at Fort Huachuca. That happens? Hell no. Forgive them 7 times upon infinity. Haven't you read the Bible? Elijah, Jeremiah, she screwed around on me and everybody knows it, but I'm going to raise these kids as they're my own because they're given life by the glory of God and not by the mouths of hypocrites that gossip all the time and have no, have foreskin all over their hearts because they're jealous of one another and their selfishness makes them despise themselves, and so they despise others, right? Boom, boom, boom. Oh, look, it's the pretty mountains covered in the food. Okay, guys, just stop taking pictures of nature and do right by nature by stop trying to make money off of promoting it as your brand, right? These motherfuckers are so fucking dumb. They must all think they 50 Cent. You do know money ain't real, right, Mr. Jackson? Cardis. Look, it's a Super Mario Galaxy movie. Cardis. Man, myth, legend on 50 Cent action. Yeah, remember that dude holding his big penis outside of the club in Tempe when I was in law? What are you doing with that 10 cent boy? Better than being with Nickel U. She probably had sex with him after I went back to North Carolina. Yeah, but I saved children from being fucked. Because I'm Mr. Lover Man. If you're looking for a lover man, you look up on the right one. Okay, Ralphie. I love y'all, right? Okay. Give me that old time tradition. It's good enough for me. Give me the drum, give me the bass, give me the right. Go long, long, longly. Give me that harmony, give that melody, give that 4/4 time. Have you ever heard that? You should go listen to it. It's based off of, they take old time tradition, but they turn it into a reggae vibe. Drum music, very good voice, man. Very choice voice, yeah. All right, guys, I love you. We'll talk later. I got started late helping Dad look for a little memory card thing that got misplaced over there, and we still can't find it. But and then the last one took an hour and 40 minutes to load. What does it tell me? What I most likely would think is that global military intel is having trouble being as gorgeous, trying to keep up with. I don't know. We can't control him. You can't control your own penis. What makes you think you could try to control me? I love you. I love you. Still love you. Forgive you 7 times upon infinity. Life's eternal, grace infinite. Truth is truth and lie is lie. And let's shelf the lie and let's live the truth. I love you. I love you. I love you. Daddy. But you didn't know I was born. That's just a joke from Elf, the movie. Okay, I love you guys. All right. Peace out.